What's up, people? Welcome back to the Prison Works. It's me, PrisimBrad, and we're here with the Backyardigans episode review. It's been quite a while since we actually have had one, since Riding the Ranges review, which was all the way from last year. Okay. But in this case, I've been wanting to do this episode specifically for reasons of when it aired May 12th, 2008, 3 days later, a certain PrisimBrad was born. You can tell who. But in this case, I also had been wanting to pick up this series again, since back in March we had the death of Janice Burgess, the creator of the Backyardigans. Rest in peace to her, as she created so many fun memories, and she was a legend, truly, and I hope she is never forgotten. May your fire be lit on that amazing torch. And yeah, hopefully I'll have a few more Backyardigans episodes to review over the time period being. In fact, I have a few others coming up this month, so keep your eyes peeled. But today we will be reviewing What's Bugging You, episode 5 of season 3. I believe this was the last episode for Tasha's singing voice actress, Kristen Klabund. Klabund, I don't know. I'm sorry if I just butchered your name, ma'am. But yeah, I'll try and figure it out eventually. But yeah, I believe this was our last episode singing for Tasha before we got a new singing voice actress. But yeah, before we get into this review, hit that like button and smash that subscribe button. So let's get into this. Our episode starts off in the backyard as per usual, as we see there is a little fly buzzing around. Uniqua and Tyrone walk out and explain to us how they are best pest control, and they can understand pets, and how they understand that we have a pest buzzing around our heads. So Tyrone identifies the pest as a common housefly, and apparently they speak fly, so they buzz at it and tell it to fly away. It leaves, and they mention how they understand pests, and they go into the song, What's Bugging You? Title drop. As they then mention how they have an appointment with Lady Tasha, and apparently it's at some place called One Nice House Lane. Really? So they arrive, and it's like in a fancy mansion neighborhood. Okay, girl, we get it. You rich. You got it. So they arrive, and Lady Tasha is waiting at the door. She greets the pest controllers and tells them to get to work, as apparently Mr. Spiffy, the head member of the Spiffy Club, is coming over. But there's one problem. She has a pest in her house, as she needs their help. So they sing a reprise of What's Bugging You, and mid-song I have to mention there is some mention of how, like, if she woke up by a garden slug, they'd make it all okay. How I see it, it's more something like this.
If I have a cricket on my rug, or a ladybug is in my mug, if I wake up I get garden slug.
That means I've been thrown out. So after the song, they talk about how they can handle any pest, but in this case, Tasha then asks if they can handle that, as she points down to a little purple Worman.
What is it?
Tasha
I
is just
don't know,
terrified.
but you know the most important rule of pest control. Always identify the pest. Check.
And apparently the pest controllers have never seen anything like it, as they have to identify it.
Could it be?
And apparently they say how they're rare.
I think it is.
One, you two have seen Wormans in the past. Y'all went on multiple adventures. Like, Tasha, I can understand why she is so terrified and, like, confused. She never went on the adventures with them back in the first episodes we got of season 1 where they appeared. Sure, I guess back in season 2, if you count Sinbad's Sails alone, they cameoed them as Medusa's hair, another role that Tasha had played. They were the hair of her. So that was a cool little nod to detail. But I guess that was like her only encounter with them. But other than that, she'd never really interacted with them. Didn't dance the polka with them, didn't swing on the vines and go to the heart of the jungle with them. No. So Uniqua tried to talk to it, as I had to mention this now. It bugs me that Wormans now say meep. Meep! Since when? What happened to...
Sherman!
Like, I don't know, something about what we got back in season 1 was just much cuter than the sound of them saying meep, 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 meep. this episode. Like, it just doesn't work as well as the incoherent babbling and squeaking that we got. As it was much cuter and gave them, like, their own little, like, secretive language that only Tyrone could understand. But, yeah, moving on. The Worman starts squirming around. It squirms under the couch and under the rug as it eventually goes up to Lady Tasha, who screams in fear as she sees it. It knocks over the grandfather clock, which Tyrone quickly props back up, but yeah, Mr. Spiffy arrives. So, yeah, they've got to keep the Worman a secret while trying to get it, while she tried to keep Mr. Spiffy occupied without him knowing about the Worman or pest control being there. So he comes in, and right away, Pablo, who is Mr. Spiffy, seems like he's quite the character. I must say, there's something about season 3 that always weirded me out with, like, making Pablo seem like he's a freaking germaphobe. Because we got this guy in Pirate Captain Moody, who really liked his pirate ship being clean. Back in the episode, what was it, Fly Girl? So, like, I'm wondering if that's just something, like, with his character that he's, like, a germaphobic, or, like, if he just really doesn't like dirty things. Because I guess that would also explain another episode of season 3, Robin Hood the Clean. What was with the germaphobe arc in season 3? I need to think about this. And I'm gonna tell you now, I'm not, like, making fun of anybody who is a germaphobe, but, like, there's something, like, slightly hilarious about Pablo, like, just all of a sudden, like, being, like, so, like, one to keep everything neat and tidy. Especially, like, since season 1, and we got right to the Tower of Power, where he was a supervillain called Yucky Man, who could shoot, like, goop and slime out of his flippers. Even if he did get reformed by the end of the episode into very clean guy. That's just, like, something to mention. So, yeah, Mr. Spiffy, he is taking notes, and he just is saying, As Tasha then mentions how she's always wanted to be a member of the Spiffy Club. Mr. Spiffy then gives off another and he then, he starts singing his song, My Name is Spiffy, as the pest controllers hide between, parts of the song, so they, don't have to be caught by Mr. Spiffy as they try and catch the Worman. So then, after the song, they leave to the garden as, Uniqua and Tyrone are figuring out how to try and catch the Worman. They decide to try and use snacks, but they don't have any. So they wonder what Worman's like. As Tyrone gives off, like, some specific kind of sandwich, like a triple-decker tuna sandwich with lettuce and tomato on rye bread, I think, or something like that, with a pickle.
And a pickle. What about cupcakes?
But then Uniqua finds some box cupcakes.
I'd eat that too.
You know, kind where you have to, like, batter in the box. Yeah. So they just realize they don't have to make a mess as long as they do that. So they cook them in the microwave, but they make a mess anyway, somehow. There is cupcake batter and frosting on the cabinets, on the ceiling. What were y'all doing?
We might have made a mess.
Were y'all having a food fight with the cupcake mix? But no matter. The microwave dings and the cupcakes are ready. I didn't realize you could cook cupcakes in a microwave. I thought you'd have to, like, use, like, an oven. Maybe one of those, like, oven microwave thingies. I don't know. But, yeah, the cupcakes apparently smell really good. As Lady Tasha and Mr. Spiffy are walking back in, Tasha quickly throws a bowl over Mr. Spiffy's head to keep him from seeing the huge mess that the pest controllers made. As she asks what they're doing, and they mention how they're making cupcakes. They even offer her one. At first she says yes, but then she gets a hold of herself and tells herself no, and how they need to get rid of the pest. So, apparently, well, not apparently, the Worman comes in and it smells the cupcakes. But just when they think they're fine, 5 more Wormen show up. Good gravy. You're not going to get rid of them that easy, I guess. And they take the cupcakes. So they weren't expecting that from the same thing. And after the cupcakes, the Wormans get a sugar rush. And they start bouncing around like crazy little animals.
boy.
At that point, keep it up. You'll be part of the jump rounds in no time. I'm serious though. They get a sugar rush and they start bouncing all over the house and go into the bedroom where they start making a mess as they jump around and do crazy stuff. Like throwing pillows and knocking stuff over as one Worman jumps into a vase. And might I mention, I don't care if they're little animated characters. I want a Worman. They're so cute. Like, tell me this is not adorable. I don't like the meeping sounds that they make, but this is one of the exceptions. Their little giggles and squeals are just, it's too much for me. So they realize they gotta just play a game with the pests, maybe, as that's one of the most important rules of pest control. So they start to sing, "Get Those Little Critters," as they, one by one, catch each of the Wormans in the vases, is by counting. And so 1 Worman, 2 Worman, you get the idea. As it's only 1 Worman left, the little purple Worman that they were trying to catch earlier. But they don't have any time, as Mr. Spiffy is coming to the bedroom. As the pest controller pretend to be statues, so they aren't noticed, by standing completely still. Mr. Spiffy inspects the room, and he feels something on his head as Lady Tasha pulls off his hat, saying that it is his hat, and the Worman luckily jumps off. Luckily, Spiffy isn't one who doesn't get mad about being bald on the head, because watching her just yank off that hat and him not even say anything, I would be like, "Girl, I know you did not just pull my hat off my head. Give me that back. You are not in this club now." Got a situation that needs some resolving. Oh, wait, we're back. Oh, sorry. So, yeah, Spiffy leaves the room with Lady Tasha, but Lady Tasha comes back and asks what they are doing now, as they mention how they're playing a game, and they offer her to join. She then says yes, but then remembers that she's trying to keep Mr. Spiffy from seeing the pest, so she quickly denies and tells them to get rid of the pest. So, yeah, they can hear the Wormans laughing in the vases, I don't know, and decide to take them outside where they belong. But right when they do that and open the door, there are like at least 10 more Wormans who are at the front door as they all enter, along with the ones in the vases escaping somehow. Now, real quick, I gotta comment on how the Backyardigans wiki says in the characters that with the Wormans along with it, Sherman, the main Worman from season 1, the yellow Worman with the orange spots, makes a cameo somewhere in this episode. Either I'm blind or I have never seen him in this episode, because anytime I rewatch it, I watch it on YouTube, since that's the only real place I can find it, since I am not subscribing to Noggin, as it's going out of business. Well, it's shutting down in July, and I'm gonna wait till, like, they hopefully move the rest of Backyardigans to Paramount Plus, so I can actually get HD footage eventually. Sue me, I'm only doing my reviews as I do them, and hopefully that'll mean the return of the Fresh Beat Band. And with all 3 seasons! Sorry. So sorry. But yeah, I don't think I've ever really seen Sherman. Sure, I think I have seen like a bit of what looks like a yellow Worman, but without like a real HD rendering that I can go off of, I don't know if that's Sherman or not. So it's under wraps for now, if it is him or not. So the pest controller's in here, the Wormans shouting, "Party! Party!" They're trashing the living room and knocking stuff over. Or as we cut to what is, they're jumping around, doing all sorts of hot mess. As if the pest controllers at this point are just trying to beg them to stop. I like how these ones on the ground are just basically like perfecting their TikTok dance, trying to go viral. So then Lady Tasha is leading Mr. Spiffy to the living room. As she walks to the main entrance to it, she sees the Wormans jumping around, and her response, as the girly girl she is, sorry if this is gonna blow your ears out, so be warned, headphone users. As, there are Wormans everywhere, it's an absolute disaster. So she quickly tries to keep Mr. Spiffy out, and how there is probably another room that they missed. But as it's his job and he's the leader of the Spiffy Club, he must make sure every room is spiffy. She's out of the club for sure. As Mr. Spiffy looks into the room and he sees it. He sees all the Wormans going absolutely nuts as the pest controllers introduce themselves, and yeah, that's it for her. Mr. Spiffy then tells Lady Tasha how he truly can't just let her into the Spiffy Club when her house is not spiffy like this. She understands, and she is just feeling awful. But then, the pest controllers remember that there's just one more thing they can do. If you can't beat them, join them. So they decide to join the Wormans into a conga line. As, yeah, another weird thing about this, the Wormans now speak fluent English. So we went from to meet to them speaking English, saying party and conga, to the point where, yeah, now they're all singing together.
Don't worry.
As they decide to clean up the mess. As in the form of a Worman party. The Wormans all help out and undo the mess that they did. Nice to see they at least have, like, some remorse. Or for such little cute menaces, I guess. I forgot to mention all the cool patterns we get on these Wormans. Some of them have large spots, some of them have little speckles. Well, some of them are spotless. So that's like a nice little design. And I caught on too. So yeah, they tidy up the living room, the kitchen, the bedroom, and even Mr. Spiffy's starting to be impressed by these little worms, as he even joins into the song finally. So after the song, the Wormans finally leave, and that's the Wormans' final major appearance of the series. As we will get one more appearance of Sherman the Worman himself, but the Wormans in general, this would probably be their last episode where they play a major role. And even better news, Tasha is now a member of the Spiffy Club because her house is even more spiffy than it was before. So, yeah, they then hear a stomach growl and they think it's another pest, but no, it's Mr. Spiffy's stomach. So they decide to go have cupcakes at Uniqua's house. And so ends What's Bugging You? Honestly, out of all the season 3 episodes, this and Rare Chance from Outer Space are some of my favorites of this series. Like, it's just so fun to see the action between, like, the characters, the jokes that can be made, the Wormans getting to appear once more. That's always a fun treat. The songs. The music of the day we had was Rumba from Cuba, I believe. But yeah, like I said, I didn't see Sherman anywhere, but if y'all can point him out, or maybe like upload like a clip on YouTube that's very HD that we can all see, that way so we can figure this out. But yeah, that about covers our review. Next up is Chichen Itza Pizza. I'll see you then. Say goodbye, little Wormans. The right way. That's better. Bye.